is recording. It is recording. It is recording. I think I did it right, guys. Anyway, how you doing? This is my first little mukbang. It's not what you used to with, if you watch mukbangs with the shoveling of the food and speed eating and, you know, all of that, how much you can eat, blah, blah, blah. This is just me for the first time eating on camera. So this is strange and odd. Anyway, I bought this Rising Crust Chicken Bacon Ranch Sauce Pizza. It's called Sam's. Never heard of it. Had a few drinks and said, oh well, F it. Let me try and make a mukbang thing. See, I have my Four Locos thing here. It's kind of gross, but get you a buzz quick. And I started watching this guy. Oh, so here's the pizza, which is very fluffed up from how I put it in the oven prior. And these are my cooking scissors. So I shall cut it up with this, because if I bring out the pizza cutter, it's just going to make a mess. Shit's going to go flying, yada yada. Melted cheese, which I wasn't going to do. Hot melted cheese. And ranch dressing. And this pizza is also ranch dressing because I have a lot of stomach issues. So I'm really not able to eat like sauce, ketchup, that kind of crap at this point in time. I have some throat issues, as you can probably hear. Seeing a specialist for it. So I'm going through that. And also esophagus and stomach issues, ulcers, you know, stomach ulcers from stress, yada yada. That's another story. Maybe you heard about it on one of my other videos where I mentioned about the murderers. But like I said, another story. So I'm going to cut this up. Get me a nice piece. I was so hungry. I was watching, I don't know if you ever seen it, Nikocado Avocado. Like I said, these are cooking scissors, see? It says, well, it used to say Betty Crocker on there. So, and no, I did not cook it with the cardboard. I just put it on there after. Anyway, so, so Jeff Esper is like the most amazing food weight eater. I'm talking low because it's after midnight here in New York, but that's the reason why. But if you ever heard of Jeff Esper, look him up. It's spelled not regular Jeff, but I say Geoff, Geoff, Esper, Esper. This guy can consume like 20 pounds of weight of food in one sitting without any bullshit, you know, cut off clips, which would be, you know, them scamming, like they really didn't consume the food. Alright, so anyway, this is the cheese sauce. Ooh, let's have some cheese sauce. Oh my god. I feel like such an animal right now. Eating on caramel. I got my paper towels, Jeff, if you're watching. I'm like, oh god, Jeff always grabs paper towels, not napkins. Yes, paper towels. Snatch those bitches. Actually, for a, you know, Walmart, like $8 pizza, whatever the hell this was. Oh, this shit is good. Wow. Holy shit, and I wasn't even gonna add the cheese sauce. because this was ranch dressing in this pizza. Mmm. 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 This is very good. It's nice and fluffed up. This pizza's fluffed up. I mean, look at the crust. It was not like that. But if you look inside, it's nice and doughy. I like it nice and doughy. Mmm. I like my pizzas like a little undercooked, so that, you know, it's nice and soft and, God, I look a fucking wreck. So it's nice and soft on the inside, thick and doughy. Oh, look at that. I don't know if you could see. Nice and doughy. This pizza's really freaking good. Sam's what? What? Sam's. Sam's. That's it. Walmart. Mmm. 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 Oh my god, so good. I'm really shocked. I was going to make buffalo wings, not spicy because I can't handle that, with cheese sauce, and I thought I had them at home, but I don't. Excuse me, drippage. But this shit is damn good. So I'm trying to think, what do people talk about during their mukbangs? Sorry, I have throat issues, so it takes me a little longer to swallow. There was something that I brought up on one of my videos, like probably like my first video or something like that I made about my brother. And I had asked if anybody ever wanted to hear about what happened to my brother when my brother died. My brother died, this is back in the 80s, and I had asked if anybody wants to hear about my brother who died and went to the other side, you know, and I wanted to know if anybody wanted to hear about, you know, what he experienced. And I've been into near-death experiences, spirits, that sort of thing for well over 30 years. But maybe I'll tell that story now. Because that'll give us something to talk about. Well, for me to talk about. We need to listen. It's so embarrassing eating on film. Okay, so it's like 1984. My brother and I are 18 months apart. I'm 49. Half of the year, we're a year apart, and the other half, you know, we're closer in age. Anyhow, so my brother and his stupid friends, ooh, let's have another. This shit is good, guys. You better go get this. I don't even want the ranch, but alright. Well. But I like the cheese. Who wouldn't prefer the cheese over this? One more bite and I'll start the story. I'll probably be very full after this. Okay. So, my brother and his friends. Sorry, I'm trying not to talk with food in my mouth, but I'm trying not to be rude, but I'm really hungry also. My brother and like 10, 15, 20 of his friends went on a boat ride. This is when we lived in Queens, New York. Alright, we lived in Whitestone, Queens. And my brother and all of his friends got drunk at like about 14, 15 years old. You know, stupid, very young teenagers doing foolish things. And one of his friends was about older. Excuse me. Like 20, 21, something like that. And this guy owned a speedboat. The speedboat was meant for about maybe 8 or 10 people tops. So there was like at least 20 kids on this boat. Okay? Now this, you gotta remember this. This took place under the Throgs Neck Bridge in Queens, New York. Now, the water in Queens, I don't know where anybody else is from, but the water in Queens is filthy dirty, okay? That's where we grew up, whatever. That's how it was. The water was filthy dirty, so keep that in mind, because that's part of the story. And everybody was drinking, everybody was drunk, disgustingly drunk. And because they were so young and because they were so smashed, nobody knew anything. They were all just hammered. So it turned out at that point, the boat was at a standstill in these, remember, filthy waters of Queens, New York, under the Throgs Neck Bridge. Okay, like Whitestone, Queens. That's where I'm from. And the guy, maybe he was drinking himself, whatever. He threw it in drive, okay, at a high rate of speed. My brother, who was at the back of the boat, flipped off the back of the boat. And because everybody was so wasted, nobody even knew he was gone. Nobody knew he was even gone. So my brother flipped off the back of the boat, and when he flipped off, he became paralyzed. He was completely paralyzed from the neck down. So nobody knew he was gone. They were all driving around in the boat, whatever, and he was paralyzed, which meant he couldn't float, he couldn't stay above water on his own, and he drowned. He said he was consuming so much water that the pain in his chest, he couldn't bear it anymore, and he knew that he was going to die. So he decided to take one last gulp to, like, you know, just do himself in, because he couldn't bear the pain in his chest or something. Some type of pain, I don't know. I remember him saying that. I know he said he was paralyzed from the waist down, which would mean, like, maybe you wouldn't be able to feel the pain in the chest. I don't know. But this is what he said. He felt pain. He wanted to end it because they were gone. They weren't coming back for him. And he took that last gulp as he bobbed in the water. He was just bobbing as the waves came and whatnot. And, excuse me, he took that last gulp and he died. And with that, all of a sudden, he came out of his body above the waters, and he looked down, and he saw himself. He saw himself in the water, just bobbing now, just bobbing. He was dead, and he somehow knew that he was dead in those waters, and he really didn't feel any attachment. There was no oh my God or panic or anything like that. He just knew it was over, and then his spirit eyes or his spirit body, I asked him, when you looked down at yourself, did you see a body, like in his spirit body? And he said no, but he could see. So he told me that he looked up. I asked him approximately what angle that he looked up, because I'm like one of those ones, I want to know everything, every step of the way. So he said it was approximately a 45-degree angle, and got him a wreck. 45-degree angle, and then all of a sudden he saw like a circular, I should do it this way so you could see me, like a big circular mist, like a circle fog tunnel, okay? Circle fog tunnel going up at a 45-degree angle. And he said his eyes or his spirit body, he could see himself going through this this fog. But I forgot the most important part, duh. Before the fog opened up, and when he looked down and saw himself bobbing, he said the water was like a different color. He said it was, now he didn't know back then, we didn't know, we grew up poor, real poor, and he didn't know about Caribbean waters, like Florida waters, Jamaican waters, Caribbean blue waters, because he had never seen anything like that. He said the water turned the most beautiful blue, like aqua blue he had ever seen. And he said he also, when he was looking down, he saw the most beautiful colored fish also that he had never seen in his life. And now that he was older, now we know that those fish were tropical fish, you know? And so the tropical fish, the most beautiful water that he's ever seen. So that filthy, dirty water from Queens, New York, turned into the most beautiful Caribbean blue water. And he saw those tropical fish, which you'd never see in friggin' Queens, New York, under the Throgs Neck Bridge. That's for damn sure. Then the circular fog tunnel mist opens up at that 45-degree angle, and he started going up, 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 up. And as he was traveling up, he saw two figures at the end. They were dark, like shadowy, and he couldn't make out who they were, but he sensed somehow that it was a grandmother who, my father's mother, who we had never met, ever. Like, most of our family were dead before we were even born, or died when we were babies or toddlers. So, and then as he started getting closer and closer up this foggish, circular, big tunnel, it kind of just faded, of those two shadowy figures, and then all of a sudden, like wham, like with the hardest thrust, like the hardest bang you can ever imagine, he said, he was slammed back into his body. It turned out they circled around to find him. And they found him. They dragged him back into the boat. And the owner of the boat gave him CPR. Thank God he knew that. Stupid idiot. Letting a bunch of kids drink on his boat. One falling off and whatever. That's just a horrific thing that happened. But he said when he was slammed back into his body, it was like the worst pain he had ever felt in his chest ever in his life. So, sorry, just thinking about that makes me sad that happened to him. But anyway, so that's that. I'm sorry to leave it on a sad note. I don't know. Can I eat another piece? Oh, I didn't even finish this piece. Oh, it's still soft. All right, one more bite. Next time I won't have such a sad story. That's my happy dance. Oh, yeah. Oh boy, gotta have cheese.